Here I sit, bewildered, dumbfounded even. I don't understand where the fake outrage is coming from. Normally, I have a pretty good understanding of the fake outrage. When you have been in the lab studying the feeble minds of the cucumber connoisseurs for as long as I have, you develop this understanding of how they think. You get a better understanding of their feelings, their trigger words, the emotional pain they endure when they encounter toxic masculinity. But I gotta be honest with you. I am completely baffled by this fake outrage with PK Subban. Casey, who in the hell is PK Subban? PK Subban belongs to a group that is deemed untouchable at ESPN, which is the reason why we have yet to see a forced apology and we haven't seen a response from ESPN to the fake outrage on Twitter and in the mainstream media. You guys know how this normally works. One of the talking heads at ESPN has triggering words slip out of their facial orifice. Emotional men on Twitter display their fake outrage. Within seconds, ESPN issues a forced apology. We apologize for the incendiary comments from Mike Golick. He didn't mean to call Leah Thomas a man. Misgendering is a serious crime here at ESPN. Mike Golick has been fired and forced into 12 months of sensitivity training, along with the punishment of supersized cucumber insertion. When it comes to this violation of the woke commandments by PK Subban, ESPN is exercising their right to remain silent. I wonder why. In a few minutes, when you see this clip, it won't take you long to figure it out. And look, I don't think PK Subban should be reprimanded. I thought his comment was on point. I'm just saying, it shows the double standard at the worldwide leader in woke. Because if Barry Melrose says this same thing, he's not only charged with mythical racism, he's also charged with mythical misogyny, and he's immediately fired. Let me borrow a phrase from Little Red Riding Hood for a second. Jinsaki! Let's circle back to why I'm confused with this fake outrage. I thought we were living in the era of body positivity. I thought it was considered holy to be a roly-poly. The Lizzo has built her career on this platform, right? If I'm talking to the people over the age of 25, which is 90% of my audience, and I mention the Lizzo, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? It's not any of her classic hits. Most of you don't listen to her music. Most of you are not familiar with the Lizzo classics like Good as Hell. This classic was released back in 2019. Lizzo dedicated this song to Oscar Mayer after enjoying her first taste of the grilled Frank. I can't believe I ate 3 dozen. Lizzo has fallen in love with the grilled woke wiener. Another song released in 2019 was titled Truth Hurts. This song was written from the perspective of the scale. You guys know how doctors have those fancy digital scales? The Lizzo, she was at her monthly appointment. Anytime you visit the doctor, they ask you to get on the scale. Once she did, the scale came back and said, "Ouch, the truth hurts." I always like to give credit where credit is due. Lizzo is one hell of a talent. She's one hell of an entertainer. Now, I wouldn't call her legendary. I wouldn't put her in the same class as Michael Jackson, Freddie Mercury, Kurt Cobain, but there's no denying the fact. Lizzo has made an impact on society. One of my biggest problems with the Lizzo, she constantly complains about the criticism of her weight. And I feel like women in general are under a lot of societal pressure when it comes to their appearance. I think it's unnecessary. But the thing is, most women do not invite this criticism. It's the complete opposite with the Lizzo. I would actually agree with her complaints if she stopped flaunting it, if she stopped bragging about how good it looks and feels to be overweight. You can't flaunt your caboose on Instagram and expect people not to comment on it. You can't promote something as a positive, then get pissed off when people call you out for it. This is why I don't understand the fake outrage with PK Subban. If anything, the comment he made should be considered a compliment to the Lizzo. This is the same woman who was complaining earlier this week at the Met Gala because they were being greedy with the food portions. "I've been waiting in this line for 10 minutes and all you're serving me is 2 cucumbers? The Lizzo's not a woke vegan. The Lizzo needs her woke meat. Where is the Franks? I want 3 dozen. Mrs. Lizzo, we are only allowed to serve 1 wiener per shit fuck. That is preposterous. A single wiener doesn't create a Lizzo fart. The Lizzo needs her gas to entertain the masses. One of my longtime viewers, Roby, he sent me this story about PK Subban yesterday morning. I wanted to give this story another day or so to breathe. I wanted to give ESPN enough time to issue a response. As of 11 o'clock this morning, it is still silence. Tuesday night, the Panthers stole Game 1 in Toronto. By the way, this has been the first time in years that I've watched some of the NHL playoffs. Growing up, I was a big fan of the NHL. They lost me 20 or so years ago when a labor strike eliminated the full regular season. But credit to the NHL. I thought the first round of the playoffs were great. 3 series went to Game 7. Most of the games I've watched came down to the wire, some of them going into overtime. The NHL actually has a lot of potential. All they need to do is let the hockey speak for itself and quit worrying about trying to appease the shit fucks. But anyway, Tuesday night, Panthers steal Game 1 in Toronto. After the game, PK Subban, he is one of the analysts working the post-game show on ESPN. Now, unlike Mina Kimes, PK Subban actually played in the league that he's paid to analyze. In other words, he's actually qualified for the job. He didn't get this job at ESPN because he bonded with his father watching Mark Messier. After the game, PK Subban was talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs being unprepared for Game 1. During his commentary, he made a serious violation of the woke commandments. Watch for yourself.
I was very impressed by their forecheck, their battle level. Big game for
Didn't pack a lunch.
Listen, maybe they need to pack a Lizzo-sized lunch.
Big picnic basket.
Because, they weren't prepared, in my opinion.
Pretty harmless, right? This should be a compliment, right? The Lizzo constantly flaunts her weight. She's always bragging about being 100% that bitch. She gets on Instagram in a thong, no dong, shaking her caboose for her lonely male followers. If the Lizzo is so proud about her weight, packing a Lizzo-sized lunch, that should be considered complimentary, right? Not according to the mainstream media. No! Headline at TMZ. PK Subban body shames Lizzo with crass on-air comment. Headline at USA Today. Lizzo comments on ESPN are body shaming and deserve an apology. You know what apology I want? I want an apology from USA Today for continuing the donation of woke welfare to the Star Trek virgin Mike Freeman. Which reminds me, Mikey V, I still haven't received the apology you owe me and BYU for being wrong about Rachel Richardson. I have been waiting 8 months for that apology that you promised me. I know you've been busy trying to seduce Darth Vader, but the fact remains, you are still a virgin. I think your time would be better spent apologizing to BYU for slandering their reputation. It has been nearly 2 days since PK Subban made this joke on ESPN. And look, again, I do not want an apology. I don't want him to apologize. I don't want ESPN to apologize. The Wanker Spankers on Twitter, they are accusing PK Subban of being fat-phobic. Fat-phobic. What the hell does that even mean? They really need to revise the curriculum at Woke U. We have a generation of young people who don't understand what it means to have a phobia. When you have a phobia, it means you're afraid of something. Some people are afraid of spiders, arachnophobia. Some people like me, afraid of tight spaces, claustrophobia. Some people go to the doctor, they're afraid of needles. Needle phobia? Hell, I don't know. But let me ask you something. Who is afraid of the Lizzo? I know PK Subban isn't afraid of her. This dude was a professional athlete. I am pretty sure he can outrun the Lizzo. The only things afraid of the Lizzo are the scale and the buffet. I get so tired of the mainstream media trying to protect this woman. A large part of her career, a large part of her marketing strategy is based on body positivity. Lizzo is profiting off of her weight. It's not the first time this has happened either in the business of entertainment. Chris Farley built his career based on his weight. The difference, though, between Farley and the Lizzo, Chris Farley made fun of himself. Chris Farley didn't take himself too seriously. The Lizzo wants to flaunt her weight. She wants to call it body positivity. Then She wants to remain immune from the criticism. Like I said, I was confused with all this fake outrage, but then I did a little digging into the background of PK Subban. Remember during the regular season, the NHL kept having these gay pride nights? Many of the players weren't comfortable with it or they were completely against it, which caused the mainstream media to accuse the NHL players of not being accepting of Gay Gayerson. Even though he works for ESPN, the home of the pride, PK Subban came out publicly and defended NHL players. He said, "We can't push everyone to be activists. I don't like it when we pressure professional athletes to be activists." I think we can all agree with him, but I wonder if those comments have anything to do with this fake outrage over the Lizzo. I don't want PK Subban to be forced into an inauthentic fake apology. I don't want ESPN to punish him. But this situation really highlights the double standard at the worldwide leader in woke. If JJ Redick said this same thing, he would be accused of a dual violation of the woke commandments: mythical misogyny, mythical racism. He would probably be suspended by ESPN. He would be forced into sensitivity training. But when PK Subban says it, we hear absolutely nothing from ESPN. When Kendrick Perkins accuses the NBA of changing MVP standards to award white players, we hear nothing from ESPN. I don't want Kendrick Perkins punished either. I just want the standard to go both ways. I want everyone to be able to speak their mind. Can't do that working at ESPN. Hell, you can't do that today working at Fox News, which is why more and more people are leaving the mainstream media. The media is completely watered down. It's generic and authentic, which that's great for the rest of us content creators because people right now are starved for authenticity. But give me your thoughts. PK Subban makes a joke about the Lizzo, accused of being fat-phobic. Give me your reason as to why ESPN has not forced him to apologize. This is the same network that is known for caving to media pressure, both mainstream and social media. How come it's different with this situation? You let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.